Now will discuss circulation of blood through heart. Now the cyclic flow of blood through heart is called cardiac cycle. Now cardiac cycle occurs when cardiac cycle occurs, the blood flows from both the auricle to ventricle. From both ventricle, it moves to the various aorta and pulmonary artery. But for our convenience, we will discuss how blood is flowing from one half to the lungs and then again entering in the second half, or and then therefrom it is moving to the whole body. So first of all, think that this is our right portion of our heart and this is the left portion of our heart. So when we are studying the circulation of blood through heart, keep in mind that right portion of the heart, clear, this right portion of the heart always circulates or the deoxygenated blood, and the left portion of the heart, through left portion of the heart there is always a circulation of the oxygenated blood. So right portion is for deoxygenated blood and left portion is for oxygenated blood. So keep in mind that. Clear? So right for deoxygenated and left heart for oxygenated blood. Now you see, so suppose blood after getting purified, that means after adding of oxygen, after releasing of carbon dioxide, it is entering into left heart through pulmonary vein. So pulmonary vein is carrying the oxygenated pure blood, purified blood into the first chamber of the left heart, that is the left auricle. So left auricle is getting oxygenated blood. Now what happens? These oxygenated blood, when this left auricle is totally filled up with this oxygenated blood, this blood now, there is a valve in between the left auricle and left ventricle, and this is called bicuspid valve. So when it is totally filled up with the oxygenated blood, this bicuspid valve opens. Clear? And as a result, there is pressure on the bicuspid valve opens, and as a result, this oxygenated blood now moves into the left ventricle. So this is the left ventricle. So oxygenated blood now moves into the left ventricle. Now here, at a certain period of time, this left ventricle also get filled up. Clear? So when this left ventricle is totally filled up, now this blood moves to the, you can see here, this is the tube, this is the aorta. So oxygenated blood from the left ventricle moves into the aorta. Clear? This you can see there is a thick tube called aorta. This is the continuation. Clear? Aorta. And here there is another valve that is called semilunar valves. So the semilunar valves get open, the blood moves from through this into the aorta. And where the aorta carries the blood, aorta, we know aorta ultimately breaks up into arteries and then arterioles and move into the whole body. So aorta breaks up into arteries, arterioles and provide oxygenated blood to the whole body. Now the whole body is getting the oxygenated blood, and what happens there? They are taking the oxygen and they are giving out carbon dioxide. Now this deoxygenated blood now comes through vena cava. These two, these are the vena cava. These are the main vein called vena cava. Clear? So this deoxygenated blood come to the, so this is the superior vena cava, which carries the blood from the upper part of the body, that is head and all, and this is the inferior vena cava, which carries the blood from the lower part of the body. Clear? So deoxygenated blood comes into the right auricle through superior and inferior vena cava. So it enters into the right auricle. So this is the right auricle. Now, when the right auricle gets filled up, this valve which is present between right auricle and right ventricle opens up. This is called tricuspid valve. So tricuspid valve opens up, clear, and blood moves from the deoxygenated blood moves from the right auricle to right ventricle. And after a certain period of time, the right ventricle also gets filled up. Clear? So they now this deoxygenated blood moves into the, you can see here, this is another major tube. This is called pulmonary artery. So pulmonary artery, there is a semilunar valve. This semilunar valve opens, the deoxygenated blood entered into the pulmonary artery, and pulmonary, the name implies something related to lungs. So pulmonary artery takes this blood to lungs where they are further purified. Clear? So first of all, this is the left auricle getting oxygenated blood from pulmonary vein. The bicuspid valve opens, blood moves from left auricle to left ventricle. From left ventricle, the blood, when it is filled up, the blood moves into the aorta. This is the semilunar valves. Clear? The regulating aorta, this opens and blood moves into the aorta, goes to the whole body, provides oxygen there, takes off carbon dioxide from there. Now it comes into the, again to the heart by vena cava, the superior vena cava from upper part of the body carries the blood from upper part of the body, inferior vena cava carrying the blood from lower part of the body. Now this vena cava carrying the blood comes, opens up into the right auricle. Right auricle also gets filled up. The tricuspid valve, clear, tricuspid valve present between right auricle and right ventricle opens up. The blood moves into the right ventricle, and as the right ventricle moves, the right ventricle is filled up, then the semilunar valve opens and the blood moves into the pulmonary artery and goes to lungs for purification. So this is how the blood circulation occurs through heart. So you can see here the blood, this is the heart, clear, this is the left portion and this is the right portion. The right portion is blue as because it is carrying the deoxygenated blood, clear, and the left portion is kept red as because it is carrying the oxygenated blood. So the deoxygenated blood from the whole body is carried by superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, clear, to the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava to the right auricle. From right auricle, it is moving into the right ventricle. From right ventricle through pulmonary artery, it is moving to the lungs. So this is lungs, clear. This part is heart, and this part consider any of the organ. So the deoxygenated blood, clear, from organs coming to the right auricle. Right auricle gets filled up, the blood moves into the right ventricle. From right ventricle, the pulmonary artery carries this deoxygenated blood into the lungs. In lungs, there is oxygen. They are giving out carbon dioxide, taking in oxygen, so they are getting purified, and that purified blood is now, oxygenated blood is now taken to the left auricle by pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein is carrying this to the left auricle, clear, and this pulmonary vein, when this left auricle gets filled up or atrium gets filled up, the blood moves into the left ventricle through bicuspid valve, and from the left ventricle arises the main artery called aorta, which takes the blood to the whole body. Clear? So there is, you can see there is two distinct phases. The right one totally deoxygenated blood, the left one totally oxygenated blood. Clear? And there are two types of circulation. So never the oxygenated blood is getting mixed up with the deoxygenated blood. There are two types of circulation. One is from the heart, clear, to the lungs and back to heart, that is from right ventricle to the lungs and therefrom back to the left auricle. Clear? So this circulation is called pulmonary circulation. So blood from heart carried to the lungs and back to heart, this circulation is called pulmonary circulation. And from right ventricle, clear, and from left ventricle, blood is moving through the aorta to the whole body, clear, and there they are giving out oxygen, taking in carbon dioxide and becomes deoxygenated. Now this deoxygenated blood is entering into the right auricle, clear. So that there is another circulation, that means from the heart to various organs and back to heart. So there is another circulation, heart to various organs and back to heart. The circulation with heart to lungs and back to heart is called pulmonary circulation, and the circulation associated with heart to various organs and back to heart, this is called systemic circulation. So mammalian heart is a unique property. This unique property, four-chambered heart with mammals and birds have this unique property where the deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood never gets mixed up due to this double circulation. One is the systemic circulation and another one is the pulmonary circulation. Heart to lungs and back to heart, pulmonary circulation, and heart to various organs and back to heart, this is called systemic circulation. This double circulation prevents the admixture of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, clear. So it is most helpful as because we can get maximum energy, because it is distributing oxygen to our various organs, so that provides the maximum energy which we can use for our various activities, clear. More oxygen is moving out, so we get maximum energy for our, so double circulation is very unique for the birds and mammals. Now we have already discussed that what is double circulation, clear, and we know that the systemic circulation and this pulmonary circulation, heart to lungs and then back to heart, clear, this is pulmonary circulation, and then heart to whole body and back to heart, this is systemic circulation. Now in double circulation, blood is moving, so once the blood is coming into the heart, it is going to the lungs and then coming back to heart again. Clear, again from heart it is going to the whole body and coming back to heart. So blood is moving through the heart twice, and so it is called double circulation. Now, and already we have discussed that double circulation is a unique property for birds and mammals. Now why this double circulation? What is the significance of double circulation? If we think it, so first of all we have to see what is single circulation. Now what is single circulation? You can see here in fishes. So if you see in fishes what happens? In fishes what happens? The heart is two-chambered heart with one auricle and one ventricle. Now from heart the blood, deoxygenated blood goes to the gills. There it gets oxygenated, and finally from these gills oxygenated blood goes to the whole body, and from this whole body deoxygenated blood goes to heart. So here blood is moving through the heart once only, clear. So in fish what happens? I'm repeating again, in fish what happens? As first from heart deoxygenated blood goes to gills, there they are oxygenated, and finally after the oxygenation this oxygenated blood goes to the whole body where it gives oxygen, takes out carbon dioxide, and is again returned back to heart where from it goes to gills. So here through heart blood is passing once, so it is called single circulation, clear. But in our case blood is moving through the heart twice, so it is called double circulation. Now what is the advantage of double circulation over single circulation? So we have to see who are the organisms having single circulation. Fishes, clear. These fishes are having single circulation. these cold-blooded animals who don't have to maintain their body temperature like fishes, amphibians, there they can allow to certain extent admixture of oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. So here we find there is a mixture of oxygenated blood with deoxygenated blood. Clear? So the organism who are cold-blooded, who don't have to maintain their body temperature, they can allow to certain exchange of admixture of, here also we can see amphibian heart, two auricles, one ventricle. In the ventricle, the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood get mixed up. Clear? So they can allow to some extent admixture of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Why? Because the most energy expensive process, that is maintenance of body temperature, is absent in them. So can they, because the most energy expensive maintenance of body temperature, maintenance of constant body temperature is a highly energy expensive process, and this highly energy expensive process is absent in fishes, amphibians. So their energy requirement is to some extent lesser than the energy requirement for the birds and mammals who have to constant maintain their body temperature. Clear? So their energy requirement, the cold-blooded animals, they have energy requirement to some extent lesser than the animals who are the warm-blooded, who have to maintain their constant body temperature. And so they can allow to certain extent admixture of oxygenated with deoxygenated blood. But in our case, we have to maintain our body temperature. That is a highly energy expensive process, and for that we require huge amount of oxygen. So if this oxygenated blood get mixed with deoxygenated blood, to some extent this oxygen content will be reduced, and that we cannot permit. Clear? Because our energy requirement is very high. So oxygen will go to the cells, it will oxidize the food and it will release the energy. So more oxygen go to the cells, more there will be oxidation of food and more there will be release of energy. So we can't permit this mixture of oxygenated blood with deoxygenated blood, which may reduce our oxygen content of the blood, and that will ultimately reduce our energy production. So double circulation is the mode of circulation, blood circulation, where the blood is moving through the heart twice. And the significance of double circulation is this: it does not allow the mixing of oxygenated with deoxygenated blood, and thus this blood, oxygenated blood, when going to the whole body, it is providing maximum amount of oxygen which it can provide. Clear? So it is providing maximum amount of oxygen to the body cells, where this oxygen is utilized for energy production. So we are getting maximum amount of energy because we require a lot of energy for the maintenance of our body, constant body temperature. We require a lot of energy for the maintenance of our constant body temperature, and that is why the birds who have to maintain their constant body temperature, have double circulation with four-chambered heart, where there is no admixture of oxygenated blood with deoxygenated blood. But the cold-blooded animals, where to some extent the energy requirement is comparatively lesser than the warm-blooded animals, in their cases, the oxygenated blood, sometimes oxygenated blood to some extent get mixed with the deoxygenated blood, and as a result less oxygen passes into the cell, and finally so less energy production occurs in them. So double circulation is very significant for production of maximum energy for maintenance of our body temperature.